Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be when you are tuning in to this podcast broadcast. I am your international award winning author and filmmaker, as well as your empowerment specialist, Tennille M. Jackson. I want to welcome you guys to another Get in Alignment with Your Assignment, this show that is all about helping you to figure out your purpose. So, as you guys come on, please feel free to say hello. These are our three rules of protocol. Number one, say hello so that way I can speak back. Hello, Miss Jen. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Hello, Miss Rochelle. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you guys come on, please hit the like and share button. That's number two. And then number three, tag somebody that you believe would benefit from watching today's video. And so today, who would benefit from sharing? Anybody who's not sure that they're walking in their purpose. Anybody who has said, like, man, I'm still trying to figure it out. Who just said that? I have yet to figure out what my purpose is, right? So anybody that you know that's like that, get them into today's show. I'm very excited, you guys. So again, whether you are tuning in from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, or even Wisdom, thank you for tuning in. And if you are not already connected with me across social media platforms, please feel free to find and follow me at my name is Tennille. So before we jump into it, let's say y'all, I'm counting down. I want y'all to be counting down with me. Today is December 1st, so happy December. I know a lot of times when you do podcasts or different things like that, they don't like for you to say what day it is because then you're kind of marking it or whatever. I don't care. It's December. We are officially the last month of 2023. Is absolutely unbelievable. Is anybody else amazed at how quickly this time has gone by? Is it just me? But I don't know about y'all, but for me, I am super duper amazed. It still seems as though we were just bringing in 2023, right? Like, I promise y'all, I've said that it seems as though ever since COVID came, that we have been on the fast forward track. Like, that button is fast forward. The 24 hours, I know they say it's 24 hours in a day. Sometimes it feel more like it's 12 hours in a day. It don't seem like it's 4 weeks in a month anymore, or if it is 4 weeks, it's only like 3 days in a week. I promise y'all, Rochelle, listen, it is going by so fast. And so here's the thing, y'all, listen. So I do have a word for y'all. And I don't know how long I'll be on here, but I want to give y'all the word that I have. This was something that God gave me last night. I shared it with members of my church, but God did not give me that it was specifically for the members of my church. And so that means that I want to share with you all as well. If you have the faith, the courage, the wherewithal to be able to hold on and still believe God. If you are like, you know what? I understand that it's December 1st, but it's not December 31st, 11:59. So that means that God still has time to move on my behalf. That means that God still has time to show up and show out. That means that God still has time to keep the promises that were made to and for me. Like, if you are that person who's able to really and truly believe that, then here's the thing. If you hold on to that faith, if you block out all distractions and you truly allow God to lead and guide you, you are going to be able, you're going to be amazed at what you're going to be able to do in 31 days. You're going to be able to do more in 31 days than you were able to do in over 300. Y'all, when he gave me that word, it almost blew my mind. Hey, Miss Tanya, like, I said, wait, what? You will be able to do more in 31 days then you were able to do an over 300. So you have to believe. You got to know within your heart of hearts, if he said it, then I believe it. You got to know, you know what, if I start doing what I'm supposed to do, number one thing is acknowledge him. And then if I start blocking out all of these different distractions, and I really just hone in and focus in on what I'm supposed to do, oh my, let me tell you. So that's kind of like, I done went to the end. Let me rewind. So today we are talking about, are you walking in your purpose? Somebody said that they've yet to figure out what their purpose is. So let me say this. There are many people who have yet to figure out their purpose. And I'm going to today talk about why that is and what you can do about it. So, what I have found, and again, whereas no, I do not have, PhD behind my name. I got MBA behind my name. I do have a master's degree, but no, I am not a therapist. I am not, a licensed, the LCPC. That's not me. But I have a lot of years experience. I have a lot of life experience, a lot of God experience. And so I come to you in that regard. Okay. And what I have found in my years of living is that one of the reasons why we may say that we are not, hey, Miss Jillian, why we may say that we are not walking in our purpose is because we are overcomplicating what purpose is. Can I say that again? We are, I'll take that, Rochelle. I will take the honorary doctorate. I'll take it. But can I say that again? We are overcomplicating what purpose is. Well, what do you mean by that, Tennille? So many people believe that you're not walking in purpose because let's go with a few reasons. One, because your purpose don't look like somebody else's. Unfortunately, we are a society, and I'm not saying any of y'all that's watching or that will watch, but unfortunately, we are a society of comparers, right? Like I need to see what Rochelle is doing, what Jillian is doing, what Tanya is doing, and if what I'm doing doesn't look like what they're doing, then I must not be walking in purpose. Okay, if we both went live and if they had 1,000 people to tune in, but I only had 10 people to tune in, then I must not be walking in purpose. If we both had events and 30 people came to my event, but 300 people came to their event, then I must not be walking in purpose. So we are getting discouraged or even allowing ourselves to be made to feel that we're not walking in purpose because you have mistakenly compared your purpose to somebody else's. That's the number one mistake that you're making. Number two, you have made purpose become quantifiable. And when you are doing what God has told you to do, it can be very dangerous when you then use man's metrics to measure God's calling. Can I say that again? It becomes dangerous when you use man's metrics to measure God's calling. Ask me how I know. Like for so many years, I was a quantifiable personality. I was raised that way, right? I was raised to believe that the only way you're doing a good job is if you got an A. That's how my dad raised us. And I always say it was more like he trained us than he raised us, but he trained us to understand, like, okay, A's mean you're good. Anything that's not an A, what's wrong with you? Like if it's 100, you need to get 100. Anything less than 100. So you're using man's metrics to determine whether or not you're walking in purpose. And that ain't how God work. How can I say that so confidently? Well, there's a story in the Bible where, you have the shepherd that has the sheep, right? And there is one sheep, there is, it's 100 sheep, one goes astray. And what the command is that you are to leave the 99 behind to go and get the one. That is God's metric. God's metric says the one matters to me. just as well as the 99. If you were going off of man's metrics says, well, you know what? 99 is still an A. 99 is still good. You only missed one. So when you wrap yourself up in believing that purpose is based on numbers, that purpose is based on virality. So if I went viral, then it must be purpose. If I got 1,000 likes, then it must be purpose. When you are mistaking, when you are mixing up those two, that's something that probably will have you feeling defeated. It can have you feeling discouraged because you're chasing after something that you shouldn't even be chasing after. So number one, you make a mistake, and I want to come back, so y'all hold on to this because I want to just like drop some nuggets. I'm just gonna talk about three things, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna talk on it. So the question is whether or not you're walking in your purpose, and I'm addressing the person who said, you know what, I've yet to figure out what my purpose is. And what I said is that many people, you probably know your purpose, but the reason why you think you don't know your purpose is because you're using the wrong concept of figuring out what purpose is. So, number one, the thing that we do wrong when we're trying to figure out purpose is we measure ourselves up against somebody else. We think that we're supposed to look like somebody else. And here's the thing, you don't even know what their why is. You don't know why they're doing what they're doing. You don't know their how, meaning you don't know how, not just how they're doing it, but you don't know how long they've been doing what they're doing. Like just because you meet them today, don't mean that y'all started at the same time. They could have been doing what they was doing for the last 5, 10, 20 years. You just started 5, 10 weeks ago, and you figuring that because you just came into them, that now you're supposed to be on the same page, the same point in your journey that they are in theirs. So you can't, if you don't know a person's why, you don't know their how long, you don't know what they trying to accomplish, you don't know when they got started, you can't. And even if you knew all that, let me see, this comment is on the t-shirt I'm wearing right now. Wow, that's incredible, Tanya. This what I'm just trying to take. But even if you knew all of that, even if you know a person's why, even if you know a person's when, their what, their how, even if you did know all of that, you don't know what it is that God is using them for, right? And so let me do say this. If there are not believers, if you guys who are tuning in, whether you're tuning in from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, or Wisdom, if y'all not believers, then this message ain't for y'all. Just scroll on, because I'm talking to believers here. When we're talking about purpose, this is a faith thing. You can't have faith without believing in God. That is a spiritual metric, is faith, right? So when you're talking about purpose, you're talking about who it is that made you, who created you to have purpose. And so you got to find out how to get in alignment with purpose. So getting in alignment with purpose starts by mindset. Mindset means that I got to be focused. The Bible says, let this mind be in you, which was also in who? Christ Jesus. The problem is that the mindset that we have is the mind of the world. The mindset that we have is the mindset of, I want a social media. We have the mindset of mainstream media. So we feel like if we're not ranking up against that, then it's not purpose. So number one, stop trying to determine your purpose based upon somebody else. I don't care who the somebody else is. They're not you. Each one of us are created for our own purpose, right? I don't care if we are in the same industry, because that's the other mistake that we make. We feel like, if okay, so say Rochelle is a speaker and I'm a speaker, so if we're both in the same speaking industry, then okay, now I can compare. But who are we speaking to? If Rochelle is speaking to cancer survivors, and if I'm speaking to the stroke survivors, then those are two totally different audiences. Again, you're wasting so much time. Here's another reason why you might not be done found purpose, and not to you. I'm just saying in general, whoever still ain't found purpose, is because you're wasting time looking at the wrong thing. Like, your time should be spent walking in purpose, not trying to figure out somebody else's formula, not trying to figure out how somebody else did what they did. And I understand about again, my company, my business called Educate and Empower. So I understand about wanting to educate yourself about what it is that you're doing, but understand that it's not always about how I'm measuring up against somebody else. And that is the problem. You get defeated before you even get started, because if you're like, man, I want to be the next fill in the blank, whoever that is, and if in your mind you got that person up on the pedestal, up here, and you like, I'm here, but they all the way up here, you done defeated yourself before you got started. God said, I okay, I called you. They didn't call you. So how come you're so concerned about how you're measuring against them? Like, you don't think that I knew who they were the same way I knew who you was. So I don't have to go and double check to see if I got the right person. If I called you, then I called you. Also, you have to understand, again, number two. So number one, we get messed up because we're trying to compare purpose against a person. Number two, we get messed up because what I say, we use man's metrics to measure what God has called us to do. If you get the one, some people, your assignment, your entire assignment in life may be to affect, influence one person. It could be a person who, about to kill themselves, and you sharing your story could bring them back. That could be your purpose. Like, we feel like that if it's not 10,000 people, if it's not reaching a nation, reaching the world, then that may not or must not be purpose. No, baby. Like, all you ever have to do is just check in and ask God what He said, because He'll make it very clear. He'll make it very clear. Number three, because I'm trying to go through this real quick, y'all. Number three, why it is that you may not be walking in, why you feel like you ain't got your purpose or you ain't found your purpose, because you think that purpose comes with a title. Can I should just end it right there, y'all. I'm just going, I should end it right there. Because you think that purpose comes with a title. So if I don't have MBA behind my name, if I don't have PhD behind my name, I must not have a purpose. If I'm not a pastor, evangelist, prophet, teacher, apostle, then I must not have purpose. If I'm not international award winning, if I'm not, whatever these titles are, just as simple as if I'm not Mrs. This, then I don't have purpose. you you don't have to have a title to have purpose. Jesus said the greatest title is servant. Again, using man's metrics to try to measure God's calling, you're going to be confused every time. Do you understand that some women, you're purposed to be a mother? You might not write a book about motherhood. You might not have a TV show or a talk show about motherhood, but your purpose could be to be somebody's mama. You might be birthing the next whomever. That's your purpose. Your purpose could be to work with homeless people. It may never get news coverage, but that's your purpose. Your purpose could be to clean your church, to make sure that your church stays in order. Your purpose could be to encourage and edify others, right? Like, people who, I always say this, I tell people all the time, I'm the leader's leader. And this is what I mean by that. And please do not take this, don't try to go conceited with y'all, because y'all know me, I'm not arrogant. Many people that I teach, train, encourage, empower have a greater following than I do. But whenever they need encouragement, I'm who they come to. Whenever they need a word of wisdom, I'm who they come to. I may never see their congregation, their following, their fan base, may never see them. But I don't have to see them because I'm not called to their fan base. I'm called to them. Do you understand what I'm saying? So some people would get discouraged because it's like, wait a minute, how come, they got 1 million followers and you don't have 1 million followers, but they coming to you? Because I understand what my call is. So sometimes what happens is we underestimate purpose or feel like we don't know purpose because we're looking at purpose through the wrong eyes and through the wrong perspective, right? Everybody has their own calling. What's up, B? Everybody has their own calling. Everybody has their own people, their own audience. You have to know what that is for you. So, if you have not figured out your purpose, let me just drop a few tips here and then I'm going to be done, y'all. If you have not figured out your purpose, then what I would tell y'all, because I'm working on a book about it, it's called Getting Alignment with Your Assignment. And there are some things I tell you to do, and I'm not gonna give y'all all of it today, but learn to listen. And I don't just mean with your natural ears. I'm not just saying, okay, did the alarm go off? But like there are a lot of things that's going on around you. That's, hey, Miss Leah, there are a lot of things that's going on around you that is calling to you. And it's probably calling to you because it's your purpose. It's for you to do. Most of the time, and I didn't mention this. So let me say this. We also feel like we not walking in purpose because we are consulting our bank accounts. I don't know how I missed that one. Like we feel like, well, if I'm walking in purpose, then that means I should be a millionaire. Not necessarily. Like again, man's metrics are not God, how you measure God's calling. Man's metrics are not how you measure God's calling. So, like when you are obedient, will He reward you? Yes. Does that always look like $1 million? No. His reward can be your health. His reward can be your peace of mind. His reward can be like there's so many other things that's better than money. But again, because we live in such a capitalistic society, we don't believe that there is anything better than money. We've been trained to believe that, hey, money lets us know that we've made it. But again, I ask you, made it according to whose standard? Like there are a lot of millionaires who don't believe in God. And at the end of the day, that's why I say I'm talking to my believers. At the end of the day, we know, we believe that this life is not the end. We believe that there's going to be another life. So, what difference do it make? I believe the Bible says it like this: what would it prosper man to gain the world? What would it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? So you can have the $1 million, the $1 billion. And I'm not saying that only sinners or only bad people have millions. No, there are plenty of saved people that got money. So understand the point that I'm making. Even though, yes, you can be saved or unsaved with a large amount of money, that does not mean you don't measure purpose based upon how much money you got. There are a lot of millionaires who are not satisfied with their life. People get money. There are people who are born into money. They didn't have to do anything. So you can't use man's metrics to measure your purpose. You have to be able to listen. So I'm gonna go back to that. You got to learn how to listen for what's going on around you. Many times when you're growing up, when you're young, purpose starts to identify itself then. But if you have not tapped in, if you still like, because a lot of times the unfortunate part too is that we don't always have people in our lives that's teaching us to look for our purpose. Many times you have people in your lives that's teaching you how to walk in their purpose. Can I say that again? You don't always have people that's teaching you what your purpose is or encouraging you to walk in your purpose. Many times you have people, maybe it's malicious, maybe it's not, this ain't that show, but many times you have people who They don't want you to find out your purpose, because once you find out your purpose, then you will no longer be available to help them with their purpose. Because sometimes you can be a real good helper, and sometimes being a helper is your purpose, right? There are some people who your purpose in life was to be a helper, right? Elijah, like sometimes that is your purpose, but then sometimes it's not that being a helper is your purpose. Being a helper is what you've been confined to because you don't have enough confidence to walk on your own, right? So learn to listen and learn to be obedient. So when you're hearing, okay, go do that. When you're hearing, let's try this, then be willing to do it. Do it afraid. Do it alone. And that's the other thing too. We feel that purpose has to be a kumbaya sport, meaning, if God calling me for something, He got to call the entire family. He got to call all my friends. Sometimes when you get called. Like when it's how many of y'all that's watching and listening, if my phone ring, all y'all not gonna get somebody on the other line. I'm getting a call. So I have to be willing to answer the call. But many times we might know our purpose, but because everybody that we know, because I grew up with all these people, but I checked with them and they didn't say that they got the call. So unless everybody get the call, then I don't want to move forward. Um, well, your desire to not move forward is not the same as not knowing what you called to do. Because I could just about guarantee if I had a one on one with whomever is saying they don't know their calling, I could just about guarantee you that we do a quick assessment. You probably do know. But what happened is you done built in some justifications as to how come you shouldn't do it. Like you done heard it, you done felt it, you've probably been told it. But because it don't look the way you want it to look, because either it ain't making the money that you thought you'd be making, because it's not gonna have you connected to the people you thought you was gonna be connected to, because it's not coming with allowing you to be viral and be a social media sensation, because you got to leave everybody that you knew behind. Like you done already built in, because what Rochelle say, it hurt. It hurt when you have to, when you done got connected to folks and then now you got to leave. You got to, and here's the thing, it don't always mean you will never be able to connect to people again. It just means that, because sometimes things could be seasonal and sometimes it could be a lifetime. So it's like at the end of the day, if I'm called in to go east and you called to go west, like that don't mean I still got a phone. Like if we are called to go is, let me say this. Do y'all know I got a whole lot of friends that well, I got friends, but I don't actually have a lot of friends. My circle is small. But of my circle, the bulk of the people that I'm connected to are either entrepreneurs or they got some type of job that's, they doing their thing. Do you if y'all was to ask me when's the last time that I hung out with my friends like in person, it's been a minute. It's been it's been a long minute. But if you ask me how many times, when's the last time I talked to my friends? Not even an hour ago. One of the reasons why I was a little late coming on today is because I was wrapping up a call with one of my friends. So the point that I'm making is we we prevent ourselves from moving forward talking about because I don't want to leave them or I don't want it, you can't sit around somebody all day long anyway. You got to go to work. They got to go to work. So why is it that we're afraid to walk on our own? Those are so just because you may be afraid to walk in your purpose for whatever the reason, that's not the same as not knowing your purpose. And the average person, you know what your purpose is. You might not be able to put a title to it because again, we feel like if it ain't a title, then it can't be right. Every purpose don't come with a title. Every purpose ain't mainstream. Every purpose ain't finna get you a million followers. Every purpose ain't finna get you $1 million. But are you willing to be obedient? Are you willing to answer the call? Are you willing to do what you know, what you feel that this is what I'm supposed to do? Because, and what's the worst that can happen? It don't work. So say if you know, well, I think this is what I'm called to do. I don't really know for sure. All right, well, again, to my believers, what you would do is you pray, you ask God, and if you still, I don't really know, what I would say is don't move until you get confirmation, because sometimes we feel like we always got to move, and sometimes moving can mess stuff up. He say, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. But those of us who still gonna move anyway, okay, worst case scenario, you move, you start on something that you weren't supposed to start on, you do it, it don't work. Okay, you tried it. Let's try something else. Let's go back. Lord, my bad for walking on my own, in my own, according to my own understanding. My bad. Please let me get back. Don't let it be too late for me to walk in my purpose again. Like, we serve a God that is very forgiving. And that's not me telling y'all to just go do what you want to do and just expect that He's going to just forgive. Like, not saying tempt Him, not saying make a mockery out of Him. But I'm saying, like, don't you understand that God know that it's going to take you a minute to get it? For those of y'all who's supposed to wrote books 10 years ago and you still ain't wrote it yet, could be your purpose. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It could be a purpose. Could be some people that's gonna get saved through your words. Get helped through your words. If you don't like the word saved, get helped through your words. Get delivered from what they're going through your words. But for whatever reason, you still ain't wrote the words. I'm just saying. Some of y'all got business idea that you've been sitting on for whatever the reason, because you steadily consulting your bank account, and well, because I still don't have this money yet. Did you try a different avenue? Did you look into other things? Did you ask God if He gave you the idea if this is the business that He wants you to do? Did you ask Him to also tell you how to do it? Or did you just say, okay, well, I got the idea now, I want to go running with it? And now you lean into your own understanding. Uh oh. Leah, Leah said I gave her a whooping. Leah, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I was, but y'all look, for real. Life is too short to be walking around in the haze. It is. Like some of us at the end of the day, and I'm boiling this down, y'all. And matter of fact, let me say this: if anybody got any questions, put them in the comment section. And what so regardless of what platform you're watching or listening from, put them in the comment section, and I'll address them. But life is too short to be walking around in the haze to still be making excuses. Every time I turn around, and I'm not gonna go morbid, deep, or sad, but it seems like every time I turn around, I'm getting news that somebody has passed away. And once upon a time, it would just be like celebrities or people you grew up with. But now it's like it's constantly people you know. Last thing you want to do is die with all of this stuff in you that you know you were supposed to do. So that's for my people who know your purpose, and for whatever reason you just procrastinating to walk in it. Why? Why? What's holding you back? What's stopping you? Like again, I say, I'm a coach. I can help you. If you need an accountability partner, I got you. If you need help writing out your blueprint, figuring it out, getting the clarity, getting it from here to there to a paper, like hire somebody. That's what I do. Get going, because time is surely moving. It's not waiting for nobody. So what are you waiting on? If you're like, I genuinely don't know my purpose, connect with me. Hit me up in the inbox. I do a free 15-minute consultation. Let's see if we can work this thing out. Because again, I say, time is too short. You got all this in you, and either you know what it is, but for whatever reason you procrastinating on doing it. One thing about me, y'all, I let me just real quick, I'm gonna give y'all a quick rundown. And again, this is not in an arrogant way, this is just a factual way. I have been writing books for, hey, Miss Ovita, thanks for sharing, ma'am. I have been writing books for over a decade, got about, I think, about 20 of them. I'm an author, a publisher, a mentor to the literary and independent circle. I got a couple different organizations. I did a song, did a documentary. I'm working on another documentary. I ran for office, done did it again. I'm over the Cook County Green Party. What? Why am I saying all this? Ain't nothing that I don't want to do that I ain't tried. It don't mean that I'm award winning in every category. A lot of categories wasn't award to win. The ones that it was when I ran for office last year, I didn't win. But guess what? I ain't finna go to my grave saying, "Ooh, I should have ran for office." Anything I have wanted to do, I've done it. That's not conceited. That's just fact. I done had all of everybody kids and then some. I done got married, been married, had some issues in my marriage. It ain't been perfect. Still trying to figure it out, push through day by day, step by step. Like there is no perfect life. I don't care, even when you walk in purpose. That don't mean it's gonna be easy, but it's nothing like my sister would always say, come on, Rochelle, jump. Cause at the end of the day, this is all I'm trying to say. Like my sister, this is one thing she says about me. You're not gonna talk too long. I'm not, even though I am extremely talkative for the people I know. People I don't know, I'm very introverted. But for people I do know, I'm talkative. But that's different when it comes to assignment, when it comes to purpose. Oh, I'm not finna be sitting and talking about what would be, could be, should be. Not for too long. We finna write a business plan now, and baby, let's get it going. We'll figure it out as we go. You know, like, and again, for some people, they might say, "Well, that ain't how I move. That ain't what I want to do. It ain't the best case." Okay, and it might not be what's best for you, but I'm saying for me, whatever God done put in my hands to do. Did I always know what I was supposed to do before I got started? No. When I became an author, had I ever written another book? No. I didn't even like to read. Never had published a book before I became a publisher. Never owned a business, much less a bookstore, before I was a bookstore owner. Never knew nothing about politics before I ran for office. Like I never knew any of this stuff. It was always trusting his lead. He told me, I said, okay, let's figure it out. Let's go. Let's try. You said do this, let's do it. You take the lead, I'm gonna follow you. It's literally like that simple. Like, have millions manifested yet? Nope. Am I doing it so that millions manifest? Not really. I'm doing it because, and whatever the it is, this is what I feel that I've been called to do. Undeniably, undisputably, admittedly, I always reference myself as being a 5 talent person. In the Bible, you had the 1, 2, 5 talent distributions. I don't say that in an arrogant way. God has just put a lot in my hands. He's entrusted me with a lot. So I got to get busy with the lot that he's given me. I don't want him to come back talking about why you sitting on what I gave you. Nope. I don't want him talking about how come what I gave you, you didn't multiply. Nope. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, I can never say what's going to increase. The Bible says one man planted, one man waters, but it's God that gives the increase. So I don't know where the increase or how the increase gonna happen, but I can tell you I'm finna plant it and water. You ain't never got to worry about, ain't nothing finna be dry over here. I'm finna plant it. You ain't finna see no seeds just sitting around. They finna be planted. I will water them so that when it's like, okay, well, where's the increase? Lord, that's your part, do the increase. You ain't got to wait for me to plant the water. No, sirree. So a lot of y'all, you're afraid that your purpose is gonna take you somewhere that you ain't prepared for. But at the end of the day, you didn't give you your purpose. So you don't have to know the whole plan. You don't have to know, like I know we talk about, 5 year plans, 10 year plans, where I'm gonna be. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, you don't really know. You can put it down on the paper, but you don't really know. Do y'all know how many? Oh, I wish I could show. Do y'all know how many notebooks I got? When I tell you, there's so many things I write out, but do you know, just like I write them, I have to erase it. When God be like, mm-mm, I know I told you this, but this ain't the season for it. Oh, and that's the other thing. And I'm for real, y'all. I'm coaching. I told you I'm coming to the close fourth time. But I had the friends like, because one of the things that God have shown me, and again, I think a lot of this stuff comes with age and wisdom. Like there would be things that He gave me. However, it wasn't always the time. Just because, just as an example, he may say on December 1st, this is what I want you to do. He ain't necessarily mean I want you to do this on December 1st. He just told me on December 1st that he wanted me to do it. So then boom, I'm up and I'm moving, I'm going. But what I forget to do to say, oh wait, you telling me on December 1st, but is this for December 1st? Now, as soon as I get it, let's go. And you can always tell when you're operating in purpose because things flow. They flow because you're in alignment, right? That don't mean that everything gonna be easy and everything is gonna be yes, but you just feel when you're doing it. You feel when you trying to make it be. I don't know if anybody can identify with me when you listen. Like if you've ever tried to make something happen, this wasn't what you was told to happen. It was just either something you thought you should do, or somebody else was doing it, so you was gonna try to duplicate it, and you pushing and pushing, and no matter how hard you try, it still don't work. That's probably because that's a you thing. Might have been a good idea, but don't make it a God idea. And you got to learn the difference between the two. And for me, it's like the older I get, I was just telling one of my friends the other day, at this point in my life, y'all, I am all about just trying to be obedient and create legacy. That's it. Everything that I do from this point on, whoever has helped, like that's my whole thing. Like I'm just about helping whoever I can. If something comes out of it, understand I ain't going in because I've turned down so many different things because I had to learn all money ain't good money, all opportunity, all collaboration ain't good opportunity, ain't good collaboration. Like you want your name to mean something, and that's just real. It don't mean that I'm perfect. Lord knows I'm far from it. Make mistakes all the time, but just try my best to be the best that I can. And if and when I do wrong, apologize and pray that you know and just keep on going. That's all you can do. Tanya say, I tried to make it happen a lot of times. I heard the prophecy and then tried to make it happen. I got in God's way. Girl, listen, a lot of us do that. A lot of us do it. And sometimes it's not because we're trying to be disobedient, it's because we're running without clarity. Like we get excited when God gives us assignment, we hear it, we get excited, and we just forgot to ask when. When, who. Like, Lord, I need you to give me the whole all the details, because again, sometimes I just really want to work with this person, and just because you want to work with that person, the person might even want to work with you. That don't mean that that's who you supposed to work with. Because like Rochelle just said, you're not gonna water down my name. Baby, listen, if you doing any type of business, and I don't mean like actual business, like an entrepreneurial business, I don't mean that, like whatever you're doing in life, you don't want, because let me tell y'all something. I ain't always been who y'all see me to be now, okay? And I've made enough mistakes where I understand the value of a good name. I understand the value of having people smile when they see you as opposed to frown. Like I've had things said about me, and a lot of some of them wasn't untrue. Like I've had to grow from there. And when you've gone down some bad roads before, and you finally are able to get on the right path, you want to stay there. Like that means something. And so it's like for me, I I don't always like I'm telling y'all, 2024, God already showed me is a year of collaboration for me. So y'all probably gonna see me doing some of everything. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. Look, matter of fact, you got Rochelle and Tanya on here. We working together, put together Survivor Celebration. You got Leah on here. We got Wife and Wisdom. Like I'm telling y'all right now, like 20 it's already been said to me. So when it was said like 2024 is your year of collaboration, that's what Lord, just tell me who to say no to, because otherwise you just said collaborate, give me strength, give me energy, because it's go time. Leah said, maybe I have the wrong perspective or people trying to make my project move. I understand the inside of it now. Let me tell you, and this is what all I'm trying to say, y'all, is you got to understand what it is that's your purpose to do. And then let me drop this. I'm trying to remember who said it, but let me say this until I can remember who said it. This ain't me that said it. I like to give credit as an author. We don't plagiarize in these parts. I give everybody their credit. So I was listening to something. I don't remember what it was, but a lot of times our problem is that we want to put God on our timeline, right? Like God will say, do this or this should be done. Hey, Miss Portia, that this is what's supposed to be done. We'll do it, but we give it in our head. Okay, I'm gonna give it 6 months. I'm gonna give it a year. If it ain't whatever this time next year or in 2 years. But did he say 6 months or did you say 6 months? Like we keep forgetting that God exists outside of time. Like our time, his time is two totally different things. So we come in with this mindset already. This how much time I'm gonna give it. But who told you that that's the time it's supposed to take? You assumed that that's the time it's supposed to take. Well, people say I've heard it been said that it should take you 3 years to build a business. But is it your business? Is your business and their business the same thing? Do y'all have the same resources? Are y'all coming with the same knowledge, the same experience? So who's to say that? Maybe it took them 3 years, but maybe it might take you 5 years. It might take you seven. Y'all look again. Maxine's baby, Tyler Perry documentary. We look now at the fact that Tyler Perry is a billionaire. Did y'all see the documentary? Did you see him talk about how long it took him to quote unquote fail? But as he said, there are no failures, there are no losses, there are only lessons. And so the problem, many of us, we are not resilient people. Many of us can't take rejection. Many of us don't have no bounce back in our spirit. So as soon as you get a no, then it's over with. As soon as it's no, then I'm done. As soon as you didn't get the turnout that you thought you was gonna get, never mind. Maybe you didn't put the effort in it. Maybe you didn't put the energy in it. Maybe you didn't have enough time to devote to it. Never mind, none of all of that. Maybe it ain't even, maybe you did everything right, but it just ain't the right time. Never mind all that. I said it should be done in 6 months. And if it ain't done in 6 months, then I'm done with it. Help us, Lord. Just help us. Because we're out of order. So when we're again, y'all, when we're talking about purpose and walking in purpose, number one, make sure that you're not comparing other people. So go back to what I told y'all at the top, because I promise y'all this. I have I don't do this often. I don't do this often at all. But there have been a handful of times where I've issued you all a challenge. And every single time I issue out the challenge, there's a few people who take me up on that challenge and they've come back and they'll even come on my live and they say, I did what you said and it worked just like this. It did just like this. So I got a challenge for anybody who just crazy enough to believe me. These next 31 days, get close. Start tuning in. For the one that say that they don't know what your purpose, you don't know what your purpose is. Start tuning in, praying. Look for clarity. Look for signs and wonders. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I know will happen. You will either dream it, you will see it. Somebody gonna share it. It's gonna resonate with you. That's for those who don't know purpose. Get ready to come into it. Get ready to have it clarified for you. Those who do know purpose, start like get who is that? Michelle said horse blinders and headphones. Get tuned in. Block out all of the distractions. Every day that you get up on purpose. Get up with intentionality. Write out, all right, Lord, what we doing today? Write out what you doing and no excuses. Get it done. I don't care if it's one thing, five things, 10 things. Get it done. We ain't putting it off. And I guarantee you, the Lord willing, you make it to January 1, 2024. You're going to be able to see just what happens when you focus in, block out all distractions, get intentional about every one of your moves. I'm talking 31 days. You are going to be able to have a testimony of at least one thing that you have been trying all year to do. But this month, you were able to get it done. This month, you were able to get it done. So you can take me, you can believe it or not, telling y'all what I'm going to do. I'm believing that come January 1, I'm going to have at least one testimony. Y'all, I got about 12 different things I'm doing, literally. I'm believing that there's going to be a testimony because I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to put my faith to work. I'm willing to go all in, trusting God, listening to God, tuning in to what he's saying, and being obedient. I don't care if nobody else can go with me. I don't care if I got money, I don't got money. I don't care if I'm going and I'm doing it. I'm operating in it. Because if he said it, I believe it. And especially if you know you've been working, you know you've been believing. It's your time. Problem is, you done had too many distractions. You've been, and I'm not saying that they all bad distractions. Do you understand? Sometimes life can be life, and then that can become a distraction. You somebody done got hurt. You got to take 3-6 months of your life to try to recoup. That's still a distraction. You got to find a way. Headphones and horse blinders. Only focusing on purpose. Go all in. Purpose only. If it ain't purpose, who is that that said it? You reached the right person, but you reached me at the wrong time. If it's not purpose, I'm not doing it. These 31 days, my goodness, I'm believing in myself to be obedient and that I will hear God's voice clear, God's clear voice. I will yield only to his voice. I'm trying to tell you what I know. He's definitely speaking now. Question is not just will you listen, but will you hear? Will you hear what he's saying? Will you obey what he's saying? His will is not that we perish, number one. His will is not that we walk around and just uncertain times. And I know he says, I wish above all that thou mayest prosper and be in health. I'm finna prosper. A lot of the reasons why, because I've already been prospering, just wasn't realizing it because it didn't look like what I thought prosperity looked like. That's the other reason. Some of us got the wrong idea of what purpose looks like. You might have been operating in purpose all along, but because, again, you either comparing against somebody else's, you either measuring it based off of likes, views, and shares. You think that it's supposed to come with a title, but you've been operating in purpose all along. So y'all, anyway, listen. Oh, I like that. Action plus faith equals prosperity and manifestation. Listen, if you believe, the Bible says faith without works is dead. So you can believe all you want to. That's why I tell y'all just believe. Tune in, write it down, be willing to obey. Do it afraid, do it alone. If ain't nobody else coming, I'm there. Ain't nobody else got to believe, like what I just tell y'all. Ain't nobody else got to accept this challenge. I'm doing it. I'm tuned in. I done already started. I already got set up for the day. And steps have just been being ordered. Things like just been flowing. Make every day count. Get up on purpose, not what am I gonna do today? What I'm gonna do today? What's gonna get knocked out today? What's gonna get conquered today? You got to know that something finna get conquered. It ain't gonna be me, but I'm finna conquer something. But anyway, y'all, all right, for real, for real, for real, and for real. Listen, this is my last show. I had to end it on the high note because I'm off all next week. Next week is my anniversary week. On Wednesday is my 22nd year anniversary. So I am taking off the entire week. Gonna be grown a little bit. So when I come back on December 11th, man, y'all be ready. Be ready because we're going to have a whole new lineup. But also remember that on December 6th, yes, it is my anniversary, but it is also my mother's birthday, which means that that is the day that the video for my song Remembering, it is dropping on December 6th. So y'all all do me a huge favor. Go to my YouTube channel. So, go to YouTube. My name on YouTube is everything else. My name is Tennille, right? So go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that way you guys can be notified. It's already set. The premiere is set to drop or whatever. I think it'll be 2 o'clock Central Time. So that way it's midnight Pacific time. So it will drop. If y'all are subscribed to my channel, you will get notified. That's going to happen on Wednesday. I'll be back all new at 2 come December 11th. I am so amped up, y'all. I'm so excited about what God is doing, and not January 1st. He's already doing it, right? And again, don't forget, if you guys want to be sponsors of this show, you got a product, a service, a business, whatever, and you would like for me to promote it, you want it on my Rolodex, within my periphery, and I'm able to push it for you, then be sure I'm going to leave the promo at the end of the video. Look and see if you guys want to be sponsors. Make sure that you reach out. But guys, it's a lot of different things that's going on. Get ready for the announcements to be flooding your timeline. If you don't want to hear it, then just fast forward. But I got seminars coming up, coaching programs coming out, Wife and Wisdom. Our podcast is every Tuesday, or it start every other Tuesday. We got meetups that's coming up. I got another organization. I got a few different folks that I am collaborating with. 2024, y'all, we are helping a whole lot of folks. So ain't no reason. Nobody has to be left behind. Nobody has to be just walking out here alone. You ain't got to be alone. APS, our mantra is we are better together. So whether it's APS, I'm glad to be a woman, wife, and wisdom, or any other things I'm connected to, then understand that is my mantra. We are better together. Don't be struggling alone. Join community because there is power in numbers. But thank you all so much for tuning in again, wherever you tuned in from, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, or even on Wisdom. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And as I always say, if you're not already following me, go across all of those different platforms and you can find and follow me at my name is Tennille. So I love y'all the best. And until December 11th, guys, you all stay inspired.